This is the type of belly fat that nobody wants, but a lot of people over 40 have. And the worst part, it's not the fat you can see, it's what's hiding underneath. It's called visceral fat, and it wraps around your internal organs and silently increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. If you are over 40 and trying to lose belly fat and build a better body, consider subscribing to this channel because that's what we're all about here. Now here are 5 proven ways to melt visceral belly fat without endless cardio and fad dieting. Let's go. Visceral fat sits deep inside your abdominal cavity. It wraps around your liver, intestines, and other organs, and it's active. It produces chemicals that trigger chronic inflammation, disrupt insulin, lower testosterone, and quietly raise your risk of major health issues. It's often called silent fat because it builds up with no warnings, no pain, no obvious symptoms until there's a health scare. And just because you're lean doesn't mean you don't have visceral fat. You know, we did a whole episode about people who are skinny fat. That means they have fat, but it's, they don't look overweight, but they're still carrying fat. So that's one way that visceral fat can be on our bodies when we don't maybe look like we're, hugely overweight. Now you can get a DEXA scan or a CT scan or an MRI and find out exactly where there's visceral fat, if there is any on your body, and know what you have to deal with. However, there are some simple things that you can do otherwise that will tell you about visceral fat without getting the test done. Now, here's the thing. If you think you have some issues, it's always a good idea to see your doctor and make sure that you all are on the same page in terms of what's happening and what you're going to do. But let me give you a couple of simple things that you can check on. Number one, your waist size. If your waist is over 40 inches, there's a really good chance that you're carrying visceral fat. Now, the simple rule of thumb is if you take your height, divide by 2, that should be your waist, that number or less. Number 2, if you have a really hard belly, then that's a telltale sign that we're talking about visceral fat. Number 3, if you have low energy and high cravings, so you're always tired, crashing after meals, or craving sugar, is an indication that your hormones are being disrupted. Number 4 are health markers. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, those are all telltale signs of that visceral fat as well. So now that we've identified what is visceral fat and also about how we can kind of identify if it's on our body, just generally speaking, let's talk about how to deal with it. So 5 proven ways to deal with visceral fat. Now, these are all lifestyle changes. We're going to see some immediate results by doing these things, but we always want to be talking about what are we doing with our lives and lifestyle every day. So here we go. Number 1, prioritize protein and whole foods. Okay, so forget about fad diets. We want to make good lifestyle choices here that we can live with and continue on an ongoing basis. So what does that mean? Quality protein in every meal. So what is quality protein? Well, whole eggs, chicken, fish, lean red meat, Greek yogurt, whey protein, easy way to get our protein in. What else? Add fiber-rich vegetables and fruit to support digestion and keep us full. And now here's the other part. We want to cut back on ultra-processed foods and sugary snacks because those will spike insulin and they will also push fat storage around the belly. So what we'll find out is eating this way also shifts our body over to muscle growth instead of holding on to fat. So our body starts to build muscle and burn fat when we make these changes. Number 2, strength training 3 times a week or more. But this one is non-negotiable. And it is so important to start building up our muscles and getting the metabolism to go up. Because here's what happens. The more muscle that you put on your body, the faster your metabolism will get, because muscle is metabolically active. That means it burns calories at rest. So we want to target and really focus on growing and adding muscle. So what can we do? We want to stick with the large compound movements to build our program around. So that means the big multi-joint movements. So like squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, chins, pull downs, things like that incorporate large parts of the body. And we talk about this a lot on the channel, and it's worth restating here is, remember, we always focus on good form and using weights that you can reasonably manage. We just did an episode last week on, do you have to lift heavy to add muscle, or can you train light? Well, we can do both if you'll watch the video, but the importance here is that we're using a weight that we can manage and control and make sure that we're not breaking down form in any way. Number 3, a daily walk. Yes, really, it works. Walking might sound too simple, but it really does work. And it helps with reducing cortisol, improving insulin sensitivity, and it burns calories without spiking your appetite. So what should we be doing? A good goal is to aim for a minimum of 8,000 steps per day. That's about an hour of walking, but if you were to break it up throughout the day, you'll find out that that's a very doable number. Number 4, sleep like it matters, because it really does. And this one's a big one, and I can tell you for my own life how much of a difference this one has made for me. I've really focused in the last 3 or 4 weeks on making sure I'm hitting a minimum of 7 hours sleep a night. And really our goal should be 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And so, and when we do that, we want to be sleeping some practical things in a cool room, in a dark room. We want to be off of the technology 30 minutes or an hour before bed. And you know what? You'll find out those deep sleeps that we have, our body produces more testosterone, our muscles recover better, we'll wake up and be more energetic, but also we'll think more clearly, make better decisions. And as I was saying, this one has been a huge game changer for me in the last month of me focusing on that. And I cannot overstate for me how important that's been. And one of the things my daughter and I have done is I've gotten blue light glasses so that as I'm using technology into the evening, I put on the blue light blockers to help me with sleeping. So that might be something you want to consider as well. But that sleep is so important. Number 5, and this one's a big one in our modern culture as well, manage stress. Chronic stress keeps cortisol high, and cortisol loves to have fat be stored in the belly. So what can I do to manage stress? It might be as simple as taking 10 minutes out of your day. Maybe it's in the evening. I'm trying to do it right now where I'm taking 10 minutes at the end of my day and I do some journaling. And as I've said, I'm a Christian, so I take some extra time to pray and maybe just sit with God and just calm down, slow down, read my Bible. But whatever that looks like for you, I know some of you have said, you do yoga as you kind of go through the day at different points to slow down your day and wind down your day. I know one person, and this is fantastic, you said you do your rosary beads in the evening, and that helps you calm down and kind of lower the stress levels. But it's so important because our society, we're inundated with information all the time, and those stressors are always coming. And what we want to do is get our body out of the react, the survival, the fight and flight mechanism, and bring ourselves down to slow down, to calm down. And so as simple as 10 minutes a day, maybe you just can do some breathing. I have an app that helps me with doing some breath work. It's 5 or 10 minutes. I can pick which one I want. And it just is simply that, just focusing on my breathing and kind of not thinking about everything else. So that's a simple way that you can do that. And you can coordinate some of these, because maybe for you, I know somebody who their stress release is they go out for a walk. And they just go and they kind of enjoy the nature and everything else. So you can combine these two, but this stress release is such a big one, especially because, as I said, we are so inundated with information all the time. Visceral fat is real, and it affects how we feel, it affects how we look, but it affects how we show up in life, and especially as we age, it can become a huge detriment to being there for our families and enjoying life with our families and our kids and our grandkids. And we talk about this a lot on the channel. What's your why? Because your why is why we want to do something about visceral fat. Stick with this for 30 days, and I promise you that you will notice a difference in your energy levels. You'll notice a difference in just mindset and how you feel, and you'll start to see your body change as well. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you got some value out of what we talked about today, please subscribe to the channel and give us a like for the video. And if you think there's somebody that needs to know what we're talking about today, please send them the link to the video, and we'll see you next time.